Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and there's rumblings of a balance patch maybe being announced or maybe even going live as early as this week. I thought it'd be fun. We do our predictions every once in a while where I've been pretty good at predicting what nerfs or possibly buffs will happen. So we're going to do that today, as well as a reminder that if you want one of these golden mini sets for free, you should probably check out the video linked in the description below, comment, like on it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be entered for a chance to win one of 3 golden mini sets in celebration for 49,000 subscribers on our road to 50K. And yeah, I'm still not going to buy these again, at least for myself. It's a little bit ridiculous. Why do I think buffs might happen? Well, in Ixar's AMA just a couple of days ago, I asked this question: is there any class this expansion cycle that surprises you in how poorly it's performing, or vice versa? And Ixar responded, I don't work on expansion balance anymore, but Warlock Priest are lower than average for worst classes of the expansion. We'll try to address some of that in the next balance patch. So to me, the balance patch, they probably already know what they're going to have going for it. I would expect for it to be announced this week and hopefully goes live this week, although it's probably more likely to go out next Tuesday. So now that we have that out of the way, what cards do I think will get nerfed? And these aren't necessarily the cards I want to see get nerfed, but what I think will happen. So, well, we all know Demon Hunter. If you take a look at the win rate spread across ladder, Demon Hunter is the best class, and I do think multiple cards will get hit for the class. I do think Multi-Strike will get hit. I think this card is too versatile, it's too good, and it locks out too many early game board decks. They play something on board, you get a Multi-Strike, they get to clear both things, they get to hero power, it's 6 damage for 2 mana to clear whatever you want. It's too good, it's too flexible, and I expect it to go to 2 mana, where I actually think it's probably still too good. I think this card could actually be 3 mana and still probably be playable, but my prediction will be that Multi-Strike goes to 2, but that won't be the only nerf for Demon Hunter. The other nerf, of course, being Drekthar. Drekthar is just too good. It's a ridiculous outlier in its win rate, nearing 70% when basically it's in your opening hand, and is the best card not only in Demon Hunter, but also in Quest Hunter, which is also a pretty prevalent deck that is very contentious, to say the least. This will be the most interesting nerf to see what they do with Drekthar. Not the refund policy, although that will be interesting and contentious as well, but what do you actually do to nerf this card? You make it 3 mana, that's probably a buff in a lot of ways because it's just an earlier call to arms. You probably make it like a 3/3 for 3, but then you're getting 2/2 drops. You're limited to what minions you can play, but that's a scary nerf to do. That might not solve the problem. You can't make it 5 because you're cheating out 4 drops, making it even better. So my honest opinion, I think it'll go to 1 minion, even though it really hurts the flavor of the 2 wolves and basically outright kills the card. I'm curious what they'll do. I think it'll be 1 minion, but possibly it goes to 3, and we'll have to see how that goes. And I really hope they don't go the whole, we'll make it a 3/4 or 4/3 and call it a day, because that ain't gonna cut it. The card will just still be absolutely busted. Warrior is another class that is doing extremely well and probably could be dialed back a touch. I don't think you gotta do much for Warrior, but Control Warrior is a bit much, and I've heard rumblings of Shield Shatter, maybe make it 12, make this less flexible, but I really don't like that. I feel like Warrior removal is what it should be, is efficient and good, plus there's not enough good board clears in the game. To me, the big offender, and I'm gonna stick with that, is From the Depths. The absolute mass mana cheat this card can make, coupled with the Sir Finley, is just disgusting. Getting a Nelly out for 4 mana, a Mutinous out for 4 mana, a Mr. Smite out for 3 mana is just ridiculous, and it's too good. And in my opinion, you either change the cost reduction by 2, or you make it the bottom 3 cards rather than 5. But I'm leaning more towards reduce the cost of cards by 2, and that might be enough to at least make the scams a little less disgusting. So my prediction is From the Depths is the cost by 2 instead of 3. I mentioned Quest Hunter earlier, and yes, Quest Hunter, if Drekthar is nerfed, will be significantly hurt. However, the deck is so polarizing, so frustrating for so many players, and it's like the last remnant of that United in Stormwind solitaire-esque kind of gameplay where your opponent just points and clicks at your face, that it's beyond frustrating. At least for me, I personally would just love if they outright remove the card. I even said on Twitter that I would nerf it. If I was to nerf it, I would make your hero power cost 1, like the old Raza nerf. However, I don't think they'll do that, but I do think to defend the Dwarven District could get hit, and if it was to be nerfed, I could see the last requirement, instead of taking 2 spells, make it take 3 and slow it down a touch. It doesn't kill the card, but it slows it down a little bit, giving room for other decks to breathe. However, I would just outright kill it. I can't stand it. That's my personal preference though, and I don't see them catering to that whatsoever, which they probably shouldn't. And I'm going to honorably mention this card, even though there's 0 chance of being nerfed. Rogue has actually got like I think the worst win percentage in Standard if you take a look at the win rates. But I'll honorably mention this for Wild players, that Swordfish is a card you could consider nerfing for Wild, because the aggro Rogue is so ridiculous that, you know, 3-minute deal 12, you treat out a Jared Corsair, which is a Wild only card. It's rather disgusting, but this deck is so counterable, so beatable. I don't think it'll happen, but I do predict if Demon Hunter actually takes its stranglehold away from the meta, Rogue's allowed to breathe, I think it'll do really well because of a card like Swordfish, which is utterly broken, but there's just not enough brokenness around for Rogue to be elevated. I do think Rogue, though, after the nerfs, if Demon Hunter isn't so oppressive, I think Rogue will be in a good state, which is also why I am not predicting any Rogue buffs. I don't think Rogue actually needs a buff. I just think it needs a bit of breathing room against the Demon Hunter deck. So on the buff side of thing, which is even way harder to predict, you never know what they're going to do, I'll take my shot at it. I'll predict 2 Priest cards, 2 Warlock cards. So I think they would buff something from the latest expansion. Ixar basically already alluded to that they weren't going to buff a previously nerfed card. So my guess would be for preset, you could buff the Blackwater Behemoth. It doesn't see a lot of play. It's one of the colossals that just doesn't see any play really. And I don't know, can you make this a 7 mana 8/10 with a 1/4 body? Seems disgusting, but it's a possibility. So I'm going to throw that out there. Maybe the Behemoth gets buffed, as well as I think the card that really should be buffed is Whirlpool. You could argue this could be 8 or 7 mana. 8 mana would make it pretty comparable to Twisting Nether, although kind of a strictly better Twisting unless you're destroying your own stuff. However, I just think at 9, it's too slow, and in particular with the Priest quest, although I don't really want that quest to ever be meta. Again, I just don't like quest lines, you guys know that. It would be more synergistic with that and just allow the board clear to come out a little bit early. You could say, I'll say 8 is my prediction that Whirlpool gets buffed. And then for Warlock, again, I don't think you can really buff the Murloc stuff. Everything is already premium stats with upside. I don't know what you do. However, the Abyssal Curse deck, I could see getting buffed. I know a lot of people don't want to see it get buffed because it's quite a toxic win condition, to be honest. Adding stuff to your hand that I can either mill you and just kill you can be rather frustrating, but they're going to want the archetype to work. They made it, right? So I could see Circus Cultist going to 2 mana. 2 mana 2/3. It'll be similar to like the Aldor Attendant. Maybe it's a 2/2, I don't know. But I could see that going to 2 mana. And then I could see Drag Below going to 3, making compared to like a Shadow Bolt, which was originally 3 mana deal 4 damage. I don't think Abyssal Wave gets buffed, but it could to 5. But my guess, I'm gonna go with this card at 2 mana, Drive Below at 3, with no other cards really getting buffed. So those are my predictions. We'll see how they pan out. Feel free to share yours in the comments below, and also what you agree with, disagree with, all of that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.